More like, who did we do over the weekend?
Yeah. Well.
I know I already made that joke, but goddamn, I'm gonna make it again. Nice.
Thanks.
Classy.
Yeah, just like your joke. Read the thing.
Oh. Just took a trip up north with Lilly and Hanako. It was pretty nice. Ah, I see both of them narrowing their eyes at me. Their minds surely in the gutter. Everyone's a pervert. The fact that their suspicions are found... The fact that their suspicions are founded makes the situation all the more awkward. What were you gonna say?
No, nothing.
Alright, okay. We just studied and went sightseeing? There's nothing more to it. Okay, after such a flagrant lie, I realize that it may not have been the best step. Considering Shizune's connections, and her total lack of restraint when it comes to questioning someone she suspects of telling untruths, you're gonna get waterboarded. I really have no idea of how she's gonna take it, which you'll find out eventually anyway. It isn't as if it's really her business who might date, in any case.
Imagine getting waterboarded while they're like, "What did you do? What did you do?"
And they have to sign it all to you. Yeah.
What did you do to my cousin, you freak?
But it's all Misha, because she can't, obviously. So it's like, what did you do? What did you do, Heaton? What did you do to my cousin? Like fucking tails.
You monster! You pig! You fucking
really
dog!
Oh yeah.
You fucked her right in the back, didn't you?
Oh, Julian! Move on! And yeah, Lilly and I are going out now. While Misha receives the news with an enthusiastic smile, Shizune gives a look of mild surprise, somewhat masked by her cool demeanor.
Whoever you date is your business. I hope you two go well together.
Misha gives a look that says this is the most quarter I could possibly receive on the matter. That's all I wanted, really. If anything, I guess. After she says this, though, Shizune begins to sign something else, then stops herself, and shakes her head at Misha to prevent her from translating. Rude.
Oh.
Normally, I'd think this strange enough, but the awkward casual wave Shizune gives before walking off with Misha in tow adds to my confusion. Shizune is hardly the kind of person to pull a punch or communicate without forethought. I shrug my shoulders at the duo's odd behaviour and look towards Hanako's desk, but see that her chair's empty. She was definitely here before, so I guess she just didn't let me finish the sentence. Feel like waiting. You didn't feel like waiting either. You were like, man, we gotta go. I'll go grab some food alone then.
Sorry, it was a misclick.
You want to see more anime titties, don't you?
No.
Oh, look, it's a different horrible painting.
This one's fine, really. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
If you put them side by side, and editor Julian, feel free to do so, it looks like this one's judging the other one.
It does, yeah. I think we mentioned that in what is it, episode 4 or something.
Anyway, walking down the hallway to the unused room that's become a second home to 3 students in particular, I mournfully look down at the plastic-wrapped salad roll and juice box in my hand. The cafeteria's food really is unappetizing. Maybe I'll consider this penance for my recent indiscretions. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Opening the door, I notice one less quiet figure than I'd expected. Uh-oh. Oh.
It's our waifu.
It's strange. Despite having known Lilly for months, I can't help thinking back to the very first time I opened this door and saw her silently sitting in the sunlight. It was this exact still. And the lighting might have been a bit different.
Yeah.
Just as she did then, she slowly opens her eyes, unmoving as they are, and calmly addresses me.
Good morning, Hisso.
I just love her. I love her soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's afternoon, I think. Has Hanako been around? She scared out of class without me even noticing.
Oh, Lilly cradles her cheek thoughtfully as I take a seat, my bag taking its place against the closest leg of the table, and my unsatisfying meal neatly set out in front of me.
She did appear for a time. She said she had to study for the upcoming exams. and left for the library. That music.
We find ourselves not entirely believing her words. The music's amazing.
Well, at least our intentions are in the right place.
She is sweet, but she didn't go. She needn't go this far to have to let us have our space. I might talk to her about it sometime. True. Yeah. You don't know. Never.
Keep thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably for the best.
I think one of the best compliments Rachel and I have ever gotten, because,
yeah, I think you've mentioned this before, that you guys don't really, like, feel like a couple when you hang out.
yeah, people
Like,
don't.
you
I
have
mean,
couple
can
moments,
you
but,
attest
like,
to
it
this?
Never, like, I can definitely attest to this, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
with maybe the odd exception where you do something stupid and Rachel tells you off for it. Like,
Aye.
that's about as coupley as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise it just feels like you're just hanging out. Like,
Yeah.
in the early days of part-timers when we were still playing Wind Waker and we could still go to each other's houses, like, having dinner with you three, or you two rather, like, it was sound, man. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Even before that, like, back when I was, like, rearranging your room and stuff like that, like, it never really felt like I was that we were a tricycle, you know?
Yeah. Never. I don't like. Well, no, because the thing is that we are a tricycle because all three of the wheels are pulling their weight and are working.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right.
all right. Yeah,
Right.
fair enough.
Not
Yeah.
a bicycle with like a weird wheel attached to it.
With a spare wheel.
Exactly.
Yeah, not a bicycle with a third wheel, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tricycle though.
Well,
Get behind
that's
that.
good. For a while, we quietly eat our meals, Lily elegantly nibbling on her sandwiches and sipping her tea as I eat what tastes like a garden sandwiched in dried dough. The atmosphere feels slightly strained, neither of us knowing quite what to say to each other now that our small talk has dried up. Eventually, we both finish our food, with no conversation forthcoming for quite some time. Eventually, though, Lily's soft voice breaks the silence.
Yeah, it is awkward, like, when you first start going out with somebody and you're like, oh, should I say
it can
something?
be, yeah.
A lot happened
Yeah.
back there, didn't it?
Again, silence. With both our minds on the same topic, though, I think I have my feelings on that sorted out. Sometimes silence is nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a bit in Pulp Fiction, in fact, where Uma Thurman's talking to John Travolta, and she's like, "Sometimes that's when you know you found someone really special, when you can just shut the fuck up and enjoy silence."
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I get that.
You're right. Yeah. Some like
I get
Rachel and I usually just sit in silence and read or do something,
Mhm.
and it's not awkward.
Not to get too soft boy about it, but like definitely, that's a line from Pulp. That's one of the lines from Pulp Fiction that I actually like hold on to, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was very soft, boy, but
that's good,
I'll let you off.
Thanks, thank you.
It's okay. At least you didn't quote some
Also,
poetry or something.
before I forget, and I would like to say it, you know how when you were doing Hisao, you'd start every sentence off with,
Mm-hmm.
I've started doing that now because it helps me get into the voice. Like,
Do you
it
pull
helps
like?
me like set my throat into like
Yeah.
the place it needs to
Do
be.
you also pull like a ridiculous face as you're doing it?
No, should I?
Alright.
Does it help?
I guess I am a method actor, if I'm gonna be an actor at all. And I like to really put myself into the headspace of somebody that talks like that. And I imagine that they must look like an absolute, I nearly dropped the bad word there. Like an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get really slack-jawed, and I just go, you know, like tongue out.
Okay.
Really helps.
I know everything happened in kind of a hurry, but I don't regret anything that happened in Hokkaido. No one thing.
It does help.
Yeah. Hisso.
Slightly tense. I take her hands in mine. Have to feel her. Have to settle my own nerves. Ugh, excuse me.
I stand by my words back there, Lily. I love you, and I won't leave you. I only wish for you to think the same.
Yeah, you can wish. She silently reflects for a long time, which feels like an eternity.
And then she
Her
ascended
reverie
into
comes
heaven.
to an end, into the heavens. Yeah, she off she goes, back from when she came.
Yeah.
The skies. Her reverie comes to an end as she takes one hand from mine, placing it over them as she leans her body forwards and stands out of her chair. After a moment's hesitation, her face slightly pensive, her lips meet mine for a brief moment. My mind feels as if it briefly stopped at that moment, barely registering Lily sitting back in her chair and smiling at me with ever so slightly reddened cheeks.
Hearing that makes me very happy, Hisao. I would be glad to stay with you.
Maybe it'd be good to slow things down a bit compared to before. We still have school after all, and our exams.
Yeah.
She gives a mischievous giggle, which proves to be contagious.
just a fucking proper stoner laugh, like. What do you think dogs would say if they could speak?
Oh Christ, I can't breathe. Right, read that line, man. Fucking hell. It's just...
That might be a good idea indeed.
Oh.
Do you think you'll fare well in your exams? It's only one day until you arrive, as you say.
I probably should have studied more, but I think I've got good enough head to manage. That said, I had to bat off Misha and Shizune. Is your class as worried about the exams as mine?
She lets out an exasperated sigh, all but confirming it. I'm thankful for the atmosphere becoming a bit lighter.
I think so. I've already been asked for help by 2 of my classmates, and there'll no doubt be more.
Think of it as your first training in being a teacher, maybe.
That's probably a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
On that note, how are you faring in your English studies? I remember it was far from your strongest subject, and the few sentences you memorized to speak to my mother aren't likely to help.
Never know.
You're an idiot.
Right on the mark. Yeah.
You got me. If you don't mind, would you be able to possibly help in that regard? Please?
It would be my pleasure to help you, Hisao, but in exchange...
She lowers her eyebrows at me, her coquettish nature tentatively coming to the fore.
No problem at all. You'd probably be better off with some help in your studies, though.
She beams a smile at me, one of girlish victory that nearly makes me blush. I get the feeling she's aware of how to use her face to twist my judgment, so I should probably be more on guard. Here and now, though, a study group seems like an expedient way for both of us to shore up our more lacking skills. Too well rings out, reminding us that time isn't going to stand still.
Lunchtime's over already. It sure is easy to lose track of the time in here.
This room's so far from the other clubs and activities, not much sound can reach us. That's probably most of the reason why.
I don't think you bang in this room. A place far from all
Okay.
the others, alone with just one person whom she loves. As Lily stands and collects her bag and cane, my thoughts are cast back to the time we spent in Hokkaido.
Before I go, Akira and I are having a homecoming party in my room tomorrow. Will you be able to come?
Yeah, sure. And back again.
My schedule's free, so I should be able to make enough room in my study time to make it.
That's good to hear, Hisao.
For what it's worth, I'm glad you're back from Scotland. Once exams are over, we should have some more time to ourselves.
Holiday starts soon after too.
We can start the holidays with Tanabata then. just as we promised at the school festival.
Oh.
Nice. She brings her hand to her cheek and laughs slightly nervously, recalling the event as I silently thank myself for managing to remember. Oh man, that's my biggest sin of all of them, is that I'm dreadful at remembering anything. Like some stuff I do remember, some stuff it really sinks in and it latches on. But like the context of it or anything else is just lost.
If we're confessing sins of forgetfulness, mine is just straight up forgetting when I've met people.
Yeah.
And it happened to me actually. I don't know if Cameron watches the series, but I met Cameron at a party, and I'm pretty sure I talked to him a lot. And he also met Rachel as well. And I was playing with him, and I was like, I just totally forgot. And until I saw his face, and I was like, oh,
hey, I know this guy.
I know you. I'm really sorry. Of course I know you.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, while we're sharing embarrassing stories about
Cameron, I'm really sorry. I think I apologized already. And he was cool with it. So.
Cammy's pretty laid back like that. I was once in a relationship where I remembered the day that I first referred to this person as my girlfriend, and I would refer to that point onwards as our anniversary. So like there was a point 6 months down the line where like out of the blue she and I were just walking through town and I was like, oh yeah, happy anniversary by the way. But I couldn't remember any detail from our first date. Until she'd reminded me of it, basically. Like,
wow.
I remember that it was like October 26th was that day. I still remember it, but I couldn't remember anything from our first date until she remembered.
I remember
anyway, embarrassing story's over.
I mean, I remember our first date vividly, but that's going with me to the grave, so.
Was that when you kissed the dog?
No.
Oh, we're not telling that story. It seems odd to see her react in such a way, though it's not like I never saw her embarrassed before.
I'd better be going. Farewell, Hisao.
Bye!
See ya! Whether it's out of habit or just a stubborn desire for one small fragment of normality, I hold up my hand in farewell just as I always do. At least I'm consciously aware that I'm doing it now. I think I'm beginning to see a bigger picture than I ever had before, not only with Lilly, but also my life ahead. The chains of my past are finally breaking.
Nice.
Look to the future now, it's only just begun. Anyway, walking down the slightly more familiar corridor of the girls' dormitories, I can hear the faint sound of laughter coming from up ahead.
Oh.
It doesn't take long to identify the source as Lily's room, though the deep timbre of the female voice unmistakably belongs not to her, but to her sister. I rap my knuckles on the door with the usual 3 light taps, my hand barely retreating as the door swings open. Ew.
Oh. Hey, Hisao.
Hey! Hello, Lily. Hanako.
This scene again.
Hanako looks up tentatively, her hands buried in her oversized pink nightgown. From her side, Lily turns sideways along towards the direction of my voice, and smiles. It would be a flagrant lie to say I dislike the sight of her in those pajamas. Whoever wrote this chapter loves the word flagrant.
Alright, okay. Right. Yeah, I agree. I also do not hate those pajamas.
No, I mean, I don't hate the pajamas either, but you've used flagrant quite a lot recently. I catch Akira giving me a sidelong look with a knowing grin, to which I reply with a sharp glare.
I don't know if sisters are, like, different or whatever, but no. I have a younger sister. No.
I'm not even gonna ask.
No.
She takes the hint, shrugs, and walks back to the low table in the center of the room. As I go to join her, Lily gives me a nod of greeting and starts pouring me a cup of tea.
It's nice to see you again, Hanako. You've been getting around recently.
What's that supposed to mean? Lily wears a look of concentration as the light brown liquid, carefully measured by her finger as always, flows from the teapot into the cup.
It seems Hanako has taken up helping one of the people in your class with a newspaper club. Naomi, I think?
Oh, yeah. Hanako gives an affirmative nod. Naomi, if I remember rightly, is the lassie with one hand, but that might be a different lassie. Even after spending about 2 months in the class, I still have trouble remembering the names of those students I rarely talk with. It takes me a few mental contortions to connect the name of the face, but I eventually remember the girl that sits beside Hanako at the back of the class.
Well, that's really good. Hanako's making friends.
Yeah. Naomi Inoue. A fairly average-looking girl, except for her bleach blonde hair. Given her upbeat and straightforward personality, Naomi may have seen an opening to poach Hanako for her club when she inquired about joining one. Either way, it's nice to see Hanako broadening her horizons.
Yeah.
When I first met her, the idea of her joining a club with anyone but Lilly would have seemed utterly laughable.
That explains how busy you've been. You enjoying it?
It's really interesting. It's the higher voice, you idiot.
As always, Hanako is far from being talkative. Some things never change, and it seems that Hanako's personality is one of them. She'll likely always be one to shy away from being overly social. Yeah, fair enough. Warned by the sound of crockery against the table as Lilly gently places my drink in front of me, I thank her and take a long sip. Hanako and Lilly are attending to their own, and Akira is quaffing a mug of strong-smelling black coffee.
At night, you freak. You're not going to be able to sleep.
At night?
No, Akira, this is just completely inappropriate.
Akira, this is not a good line of conversation to be having.
No, you're...
Akira!
I'm not even going to read it. It's disgusting.
Huh?
I can't help grimacing at her teasing smile, still visible around the edges of the mug pressed to her lips.
It must be a fucking sister thing. Seeing my sister in her pajamas.
Oh, it's a misdirect.
Oh, it's a misdirection. Fuck. Seeing my sister in her pajamas, there's a lot of men out there who'd like to be where you are.
Yeah, I bet. I've seen a lot more than that of her, not that I'd admit it. But she knows. Of course she knows.
Akira.
That's why she's bringing it up.
Disgusting.
Akira, stop.
Horny be gone spray. Hey, I'm just teasing.
She leans over to me as much as she can, whispering with a sly grin written on her face.
And Hanako too. You perv. You preve.
Oh my god, stop.
That face.
Hey, it was her idea.
We both look over to her, her face turned to the ground and her hands fidgeting in the lap of her nightgown.
Man, if it's Hisso, I don't mind.
Oh man, she's got the hots for you too. Ah, this could be bad. I know Hanako is altogether too innocent to bother reading too much into such a thing, but the expression Akira directs at me is positively stormy.
Akira, please.
It seems Lilly can sense Akira's sudden change in aura just as well as I, even without seeing it for herself. Ooh. Akira slowly looks away from me, like an attack dog leashed by its owner in the nick of time. I breathe a sigh of relief. I can't think of a more appropriate time to try and change topics than around now. Yeah, man, change that subject.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, Akira, what do you do for a living? I've never seen you out of that suit.
Thinking about what to do with yourself after school's over, eh, Sonny? I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, Sonny?
For the most part, I work in the legal department of the Japanese branch of our family's company. The most boring possible answer, I suppose. Law is a pretty dry topic to most people. Yeah, I know somebody in Rachel's family who's a lawyer, and it's kind of
Kind of.
you know.
Yeah, just one of those things.
Oi, you're not supposed to agree.
Yeah, well, the shoe fits. Lilly gives an amused giggle while holding her teacup and saucer, Hanako quickly joining her. Yeah, this is what you get, Akira. This friendly atmosphere between everyone is something I'd missed while Lilly and Akira were on their trip. While the dealings I had with Hanako didn't help, I think just not having Lilly around changed the mood.
It's nice to be back. I missed you, Hisso. And you too, Hanako.
Same goes for both of us. I'm guessing your classmates were happy to see you back.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Ha! Akira's amused snort shows she's well aware of Lily's attitude towards such figures of speech. I imagine she'd have to be, given how long they've been together. Oh, get it? Your classmates were happy to see you back?
Yes. Yeah.
They're all blind.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Did you have fun in Scotland?
Of course you did.
Yeah.
For a moment, I wonder why she's asking, because of course they did. It having been quite a while since they came back. But then I remember everything that happened. We've simply not had time to look back. What with the exams and our Hokkaido trip.
Yeah, all the fucking...
Lily's face goes distant. Lily's face goes distant for a moment. And the fact that Akira's first reaction is to look over to her sister doesn't escape me. Nonetheless, she quickly collects herself. Oh, there's something going on, Julian.
It was nice. We hadn't met our family in such a long time, so it was a wonderful reunion. Yeah, I guess that's right. Their house being beachside was the best part, though.
Alright. Maybe they weren't in Scotland. From her dismissive tone, I get the feeling Akira...
I don't know, maybe
like
Akira's...
their family as much as Lily does.
Inverness. Maybe Akira's a wild swimmer, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they both are. Or people literally have no idea, like, we avoid the beach at all costs.
Oh, yeah. Unless it's like...
Unless you're
the
like...
3 sunny days that we get in the summer, you know?
Exactly.
Even then.
Even then. The only people that go to the beach in Scotland are nutcases, or people foraging for seaweed. That's about it.
Yeah,
maybe I'm like overgeneralizing, or you only like that because you finally had time to play around. Just because I'm the better swimmer, because I can see.
Oh, Julian!
I don't take after the athletic side of the family, that's all.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
Well, you could take heart in the fact that you got the height genes at least.
Yeah,
and the bus genes.
Also
That's
true.
not really the kind of thing to say around others.
Though it's called Akira, she does so with an unmistakably slightly cheeky grin on her face. I doubt Akira really minds that, judging from her nonchalant expression. While I don't either, Hanako's looking down and blushing furiously beside me. The sisters' antics aside, their parents really do lead a bourgeois lifestyle. Oh no, Julian, are we scabs?
Oh no.
It seems utterly divorced from the life that Lily and Akira have lived until now. Alright, okay, so their folks are the bourgeoisie and they're the proletariat. Right, that makes sense.
Okay.
I suppose practicality must have made the decision for them. To have come from such a wealthy and well-connected lineage only adds to the almost noble air Lily seems to have. Though it's a small wonder none of it seems to have rubbed off on Akira. They really are as little alike as siblings could be. Their only similarity seems to be their shared confidence, which can be both endearing and a headache at times. Most of the night continues much the same, with Hanako eventually leaving the Sato sisters and me to ourselves, as she heads back to her dorm room for a rest. For a while, only the barely audible sound from Lily's teacup and saucer can occasionally be heard as she slowly drinks. The silence is strained as Lily and I wait for the elephant in the room to be addressed.
And I think
man, we're all waiting for that elephant.
And I'm really sorry, but you folks at home are also going to have to wait because it is next episode time. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, man.
Right?
Have you had a nice time with Lily and Akira and Hanako? Have you had a nice time today back at Yamaku?
Yeah, it's been a good time. Have you had a
I'm
nice
only
time?
dragging out this send off because it's our last episode of the session. Yeah, man, I've had a great time. I always love going back to Yamaku. While you were away taking a pee, I was reliving the fact that it was about 8 years and 2 feet ago that I was playing this game for myself, you know?
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm practically in exactly the same position. Literally, though, not figuratively.
Cool. Well, yeah, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe,
Anyway, yeah,
leave
like,
a comment.
subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Do
let
your
us,
thing, you know.
Yeah, let us know if you go to the beaches in Scotland to swim, you freak.
Aye,
and
yeah.
we will
If you're a Scottish liar, tell us about how many beaches you go to.
All right, and with that, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Part-timers, we do this part-time. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.